Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moments. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel, thank you. Today is explanation of upcoming episode of Renegade Immortal based on novel. At that moment, the Cloud sect's middle-aged man's eyes jerked open. He stared at the pill as he quickly leaped and landed in front of the youth. Without a word, he waved his hand and the pill flew into his hand. He carefully examined the pill, then looked at the youth, who was filled with ecstasy. After pondering for a while, he said, "Congratulations to you. You won't need to be tested anymore and will directly become an inner disciple of the Cloud Sky sect. You can go up the mountain to see the sect head. Take good care of this pill. When you meet your teacher, give this to them as a gift. Sadly, this is a fire-based pill. If it was something else, I would be your teacher." The disciple's eyes revealed a color of ecstasy. He quickly nodded as he was filled with excitement. Wang Lin's expression was calm, but his heart was moved. Inside the black fog, he only saw three things: the pill, the jade, and the token. It was clear that these three items had different meanings. Receiving the pill meant one would become a disciple, and receiving the jade meant one passed this test. What would happen if someone received the token? Wang Lin pondered a little, but he didn't act again. He had to be very cautious because one time could be an accident, but if he used it in succession, it would be obvious. If he were to get found out, all of this would have been for naught. With Wang Lin's analysis of the middle-aged man's expression, he believed that in this recruitment exam that only occurred once every 30 years, almost no one get the pill. He guessed that most people just got the piece of jade. The middle-aged man slowly said, in a flat tone, "There is only 1 hour left before the time limit is up. I can tell you now that within the pillar, there are 4 items, a piece of jade, a pill, a token, and a pill furnace. Among the 4 items, whoever gets the jade passes this test. Whoever gets the pill directly becomes an inner disciple. Whoever gets the token can trade it for any third-rank pill, aside from the one that lets you become an inner disciple. If one of you get the furnace, then you will be one of the few that will become a disciple of the sect head. But, in the 8,000 years since the Cloud Sky sect was founded, only 6 disciples have gotten the pill furnace. I hope that, among you, there will be a 78. Once you become the disciple of the sect head, you can use pills as you wish and you will be exposed to the more profound areas of alchemy." The moment the words came out, all of the youths on the stage took deep breaths and looked at the pillar. In their eyes, the pillar represented a lifetime of wealth. When Wang Lin heard those words, he was stunned. When he checked inside the restriction, there were only 3 items. There was no pill furnace inside. After pondering for a while, Wang Lin didn't keep watching, but sent out a restriction and pulled out a pill. With a flash of golden light, a blue pill immediately flew out from the pillar and was grabbed by Wang Lin. It was not that Wang Lin couldn't get the token, but he didn't want it to be too showy. If it wasn't for the fact that getting the pill would make him an inner disciple directly, he would have chosen the jade instead. After noticing the color of the pill, the middle-aged man's eyes suddenly lit up. He grabbed the pill from Wang Lin's hand. After looking at Wang Lin for a while, he smiled and said, "Are you willing to take me as your teacher?" Wang Lin's face revealed a look of fear, but in that fear there was a hint of excitement. He quickly nodded. The middle-aged man smiled and said, "Stand with me until the end, then I'll bring you up the mountain to see the sect head." Wang Lin quickly and respectfully followed the middle-aged man to the corner of the stage. His face was filled with fear and ecstasy, but he sneered inside. When he saw the middle-aged man's disappointed look when the disciple earlier had gotten the fire element pill, Wang Lin began to carefully observe the middle-aged man. He roughly judged that the pill the middle-aged man wanted was a water pill. After all, even if the other elements weren't compatible, it was still usable, unless he needed a water element, which was the opposite of fire. As a result, Wang Lin deliberately chose a water element pill because if his analysis was correct, the middle-aged man would be too happy to dig too deep into why 2 pills appeared in a row. Within the next hour, 3 more people were chosen. Among the 3, one of them was the girl that walked here with Wang Lin. Time was nearing the end. The middle-aged man looked up into the sky and was about to announce the result, but at the same time, the entire dark mist pillar started to roll violently. Dark clouds started to appear in the sky and lightning flashed across the sky like silver snakes dancing. At the same time, bursts of thunderous roars appeared from inside the mist and the tip of a giant pill furnace appeared out of the corner of the mist. This tip was purple and had an etching of a black dragon in chains. The dragon's eyes were filled with rage and a strong sense of unwillingness. It looked into the sky and let out a few roars. "Send everyone out of the Cloud Sky sect's mountain. Everyone that obtains something, follow me up the mountain." After the middle-aged man finished, he looked back at Wang Lin and grabbed Wang Lin's belt. He jumped to the youth who got the token and picked him up as well, then brought both of them up the mountain. Behind him were 3 Cloud Sky disciples. They were carrying the lucky 3 who passed the exam to the top of the mountain. Wang Lin kept checking his surroundings. As the middle-aged man moved faster, the mountain got closer. Then, they suddenly passed a wave-like barrier and the entire scene before Wang Lin changed. The rows of luscious green forest and mountainscape suddenly disappeared, and what unfolded before Wang Lin was a very grand building decorated with extremely well-carved jade. Even Wang Lin, who had seen the world, couldn't help but suck in a breath as well, and though that the Cloud Sky sect was indeed rich. Although not all of the houses were made of jade, more than 80% of the buildings were made from natural jade stone. If all of this was turned into spirit stones or jade pieces, the total number of them would be unimaginable. At the same time, because there was a lot of jade, this place naturally had very dense spiritual energy. He took one breath and immediately felt a very comfortable feeling. After analyzing it a bit, Wang Lin determined that cultivating here for 1 day could be compared to 3 days of cultivation outside. Wang Lin looked at the others who were also selected and found that all of them were stunned as well. They all stared at the scene before them with strange expressions. The moment they passed the wave-like barrier, the disciples behind the middle-aged man began to loosen their arms. Everyone who came to join the Cloud Sky sect already had their own flying treasures. As the Cloud Sky sect disciples loosened their holds on the people they were carrying, everyone got on their own flying treasure and followed behind the middle-aged man. The group speed wasn't very fast. Wang Lin was stunned for a bit longer, then saw a flock of cranes flying in from the distance. On top of the cranes sat several beautiful women. These women wore rainbow-colored robes, making them look like dancing butterflies, which made people involuntarily look in their direction. When the cranes got closer, one of the women said, with a beautiful and clear voice, "Elder Marshal Brother Ju, are these the new disciples?" The woman was attractive, with all of the features of a top beauty. She also had a small dot on the edge of her lip, making her very charming. The middle-aged man let out a laugh and said, "Yes." This time, during the recruitment, 6 people passed. The woman's gaze swept through the group, revealing some of her hidden beauty. Her gaze ended up on the girl that walked to the sect with Wang Lin, and she smiled. Very pretty. If she was seen by teacher, she would be accepted as a disciple for sure. When the woman finished, the women that were with her turned their gazes onto the girl. After chatting among themselves for a bit, they all left on the cranes with charming smiles. Those exquisite women came quick and left just as quick, but their appearance riled up the hearts of the young men that had just joined the sect. Among the 6 new disciples, besides the girl that walked up the mountain with Wang Lin, who frowned, the only other person who didn't even bat their eye when they saw the charm of those women was Wang Lin. In Wang Lin's view, although these women were very beautiful and their bodies have nice curves, they were not as beautiful as Li Muwen, and compared to the Xian Dao sect's Liu Mai, they were even further behind. Therefore, how could they catch Wang Lin's attention? Also, he always had a strong heart that wouldn't be fluttered by pretty women, so Wang Lin not being flustered was no big surprise. As for the girl that walked with Wang Lin to the sect, she turned around and her gaze fell on Wang Lin. When she saw that his eyes were calm, she felt a hint of joy in her heart, though she didn't know why. After those women left, the middle-aged man lightly coughed. His gaze fell on the guys. He then turned to the girl and smiled. Lucky girl. You also don't need to do the second exam. Later, you will follow me to see the sect head. With that, he continued to fly forward. As they flew deeper into the Cloud Sky sect, spirit beasts gradually appeared on the ground. There were numerous tigers, monkeys, bears, and other animals. They were all normal animals, but, inside the Cloud Sky sect, each of them were much larger and their bodies emitted large amounts of spiritual energy, meaning they all had considerable cultivation. These spirit beasts were all either quietly laying on the ground or nimbly climbing around. As they flew, Wang Lin found that the buildings formed a large circle and, at the center of circle, a very magnificent hall slowly came into everyone's view. This main hall was very large. Even if 1,000 people were to enter the main hall, it wouldn't feel crowded. In the square in front of the grand hall were 7 large pill furnaces. Each furnace was emitting white smoke that was floating up into the sky, as if they were communicating with the heavens. From inside and outside, the grand hall emitted a lingering scent of pills. Currently, there were dozens of people divided into 2 rows. They were either meditating with their eyes closed or talking to each other. In the middle, a white-haired old man, who was wearing a green robe and holding his hands behind his back, smiled at the group as they got closer. After an instant, the elder withdrew his gaze. He faintly smiled and said, "In order to get the pill, this person must have some special technique. Fine, you can take him as your disciple." He had no fear of another sect's disciple embarking into his school because the items inside the mist chose their owners on their own, and one of the qualifications to be chosen was to not have any ill intent toward the sect. However, he didn't know that Wang Lin had used an ancient restriction to lead the item out by force. The middle-aged man, Zhu Lin's, eyes immediately lit up. He thanked the sect head and then glanced at Wang Lin. He signaled Wang Lin to follow him. But, just as that moment, an old woman sitting at the second position to the right opened her eyes. She examined the group and said, with a husky voice, "I want this girl." The old woman pointed her hand and the girl that came with Wang Lin suddenly let out a scream as her body involuntarily floated toward the old woman. The girl was also very clever. She quickly knelt on the ground and said, "Disciple greets master." The moment those words came out, everyone sitting around immediately revealed strange expressions. Even the old woman was stunned. After blankly staring at her for a moment, the old woman smiled and said, "You sure are a smart girl. Did you know that all disciples that enter my Cloud Sky sect are considered 10th generation disciples?" The girl's face turned red. She played with the edge of her clothes, not knowing what to say. The old woman carefully looked at her a few times and smiled. "Fine, get up. Although I can't immediately accept you as my disciple, if you can make a rank 2 pill in 3 years, I'll forcibly accept you as an honorary disciple. Our Cloud Sky sect doesn't have any fancy ceremonies. I took your pill, so you are now my disciple. From your registration record, I know that your name is Wang Lin. Wang Lin, I have never accepted a disciple before, you are the first one. From now on, you will live in this house. After I'm done with the recruitment, I'll return and teach you the art of alchemy." With that, Zhu Lin explained a few more things and left. After Zhu Lin left, Wang Lin's eyes lit up. From now on, he was also a member of the Cloud Sky sect. He took a deep breath and looked around. This garden had many flowers and plants growing all around. The more he looked at them, the more excited he got. This was only the 9th generation disciples' herb garden, and there were already extremely valuable herbs growing here. And all of these herbs were kept in perfect condition. Considering the amount of spiritual energy they received, none of the herbs' effects would be lost at all. After he checked out everything, Wang Lin let out another sigh. He felt that the Cloud Sky sect was too luxurious and rich. Using jade as building stones, raising spirit beasts like livestock, a mere 9th generation disciple with an herb garden like this. All of this displayed just how powerful the Cloud Sky sect was. At that moment, Wang Lin's heart felt a sudden urge to steal the pills inside the storage houses of the Cloud Sky sect. There must be a large variety of pills stored there, so if he could get his hands on them, he wouldn't be short on any pill until he reached the spirit-severing stage. The moment this idea came into his mind, he tossed it aside because it was impossible unless his main body reaches the nascent soul stage. Then, it would not be entirely impossible. After pondering a little, Wang Lin put away this unrealistic idea. After all, his avatar was only at the 3rd layer of chi condensation. The herb garden wasn't large. Behind it was a row of houses. Besides the first house having restrictions protecting it, none of the other houses had any protection. Wang Lin picked the last house. He walked inside and swept the surroundings. The room was equipped with all of the daily necessities. In addition, there was a small pill furnace in the middle of the room. Although Wang Lin wasn't an expert on pill furnaces, he still knew a thing or two. Those pill furnaces in the main hall were legendary treasures. Even that small pill furnace at the center of the garden was considered a rare treasure. If it was in the Sea of Devils, the cost to make one of those would be unimaginable. From within the room, Wang Lin pondered for a while. He sent out a restriction that landed on the door, then he sat down cross-legged and began to cultivate. Time slowly passed. When night came, Wang Lin felt a special fluctuation of spiritual energy from the restriction he placed. He knew that it was because Zhu Lin had returned. This Zhu Lin was only at the early stage of core formation, so he couldn't see through Wang Lin's formation. The Cloud Sky sect was split into the inner and outer sect. The inner sect was in charge of alchemy and the outer sect was in charge of protecting the sect. Because Zhu Lin was an inner sect disciple, his main job was making pills. "Come out and meet me." Zhu Lin's voice floated in from outside. Wang Lin opened his eyes and walked out of the room. Although it was late at night, with the rays of moonlight, everything was as clear as day for cultivators. Zhu Lin stood in the garden. When Wang Lin came out, he threw a piece of jade at Wang Lin and said, "Your teacher has to go into closed-door training to absorb the water element pill. If it's short, it'll only take a few months, but it could take up to few years. Thus, I don't have the time to teach you alchemy. Inside this jade are dozens of years of my experience and some pill recipes. You should study it first yourself. If you have any problems, go to the southern courtyard. In the third courtyard, you'll find your teacher's teacher. I have already told her about me accepting you as a disciple." Wang Lin took the piece of jade. He put it on his forehead and scanned the jade, then was immediately stunned. He didn't think that Zhu Lin would give him a piece of jade like this. Within this jade contained Zhu Lin's countless years of experience on alchemy, especially failures and what made quality of pills drop. The jade contained very detailed information. It could be said that it was very valuable for the current Wang Lin. He and Zhu Lin had just met, so he never would have imagined that his new master would give him this piece of jade. This was too great of a contrast with the vicious teacher and student relationship he used to have with Sun Dashu. Wang Lin felt conflicting emotions while holding the jade. Inside the bottle were 3 bright yellow pills. Each one was about the size of a lychee nut. Wang Lin picked one up. After looking at it for a while, he didn't consume it, but took out a small beast from his bag of holding. The moment the beast appeared, it beat its wings and let out a growl. Wang Lin flicked his finger and the pill entered the beast's mouth. His eyes became serious as he observed the beast. After a long time, not only did the beast not show any negative reaction, it instead became even more lively. Even its head seemed to have grown a bit. Wang Lin observed it for a while. He then waved his hand and the small beast returned to his bag of holding. He intended to observe it for a few days. If that small beast showed no negative signs, then he will take the pills. Wang Lin silently cultivated for the whole night. Wang Lin awoke from his cultivation the next morning. He found that the spiritual energy in his body had increased greatly. The Cloud Sky sect had very dense spiritual energy, so a night of cultivation had been very effective. Wang Lin got up and put on the Cloud Sky sect's disciple uniform. It was a long-sleeve white shirt with red pill furnaces embroidered on the cuffs. He put away the token that represented his identity and the white bottle. Then, he slapped his bag of holding and another object appeared in his hand. Although this was also another white bottle, the contents were several times more precious than all of those pills. After Wang Lin drank a gulp of the spiritual liquid, he sat down and began to cultivate. Both of his hands quickly moved, forming illusions in front of his body. The spiritual liquid turned into spiritual energy in his body and quickly traveled to his hands. Gradually, Wang Lin's hand moved even faster and sweat appeared on his brow. Then, he suddenly growled, "Go!" Suddenly, all of the illusionary circles formed by his hands moved and formed a restriction circle. The restriction circle landed on the ground. A circular halo appeared on the ground and started flashing. Wang Lin wiped the sweat from his forehead. With the avatar's cultivation, he could create one restriction, but to create a restriction circle, he needed the help of the spiritual liquid, and even then, it was a heavy load on his body. After the restriction circle landed on the ground, slivers of cold air leaked out from the circle. After a while, Wang Lin's main body slowly appeared through the circle. After the restriction had been tested, Wang Lin's main body sank back into the circle. After pondering a little, Wang Lin gathered a few pill materials and started to refine again. This time, when he was about to succeed, the fire suddenly increased and went out of control. No matter how hard he tried, the fire kept spreading, then, with a bang, the pill furnace exploded again. Wang Lin looked at the exploded pill furnace along with the wasted materials inside it with a dark expression. He pondered for a while, then tried it 2 more times. However, both pill furnaces exploded. As a result, in these 2 months, all 7 pill furnaces had shattered to pieces. Wang Lin wryly smiled. He let out a sigh and thought, if it was just the refining that failed, it would be fine, because I can always keep trying until I succeed, but now the pill furnaces are all broken too. If this situation was not resolved, Wang Lin was afraid that he might be the first person to be kicked out of the Cloud Sky sect for breaking too many pill furnaces. After all, Wang Lin knew the value of a pill furnace. Every time a furnace broke, his heart would ache. Meanwhile, Wang Lin also realized that while there were many alchemists, the number of top-tier alchemists was low. After all, alchemists could be considered the most expensive people to train. In order to become a master alchemist, one must consume a large amount of materials and pill furnaces. As a result, a normal sect couldn't even sustain one master alchemist. Only a sect like the Cloud Sky sect could afford to sustain so many alchemists. Wang Lin wryly smiled as he cleaned up the shattered pill furnace and walked out of the courtyard. With all of the pill furnaces gone, he needed to get more before he could continue to practice alchemy. However, Zhu Lin was still not back, so Wang Lin had to go look for Zhu Lin's teacher. In addition, he also planned to ask about why the pill furnaces kept exploding when he was refining pills. He had to fix this problem before he could continue to learn alchemy. The Cloud Sky sect was split into the east, west, south, and north sectors, forming a circle with the main hall at the center. Wang Lin walked through the Cloud Sky sect wearing the disciple clothes with the token attached to his waist. Although he came across other people, none of them talked to him and they only nodded as a greeting. As he was walking, voices of cranes came from a distance, followed by white cranes. When they passed over Wang Lin, sounds of laughter came from the flock of cranes. Then, a crisp voice suddenly said, "Oh, it's you." Wang Lin looked at the person. He revealed a faint smile and said, "I'm Wang Lin." The youth let out a mischievous smile and said, "Your elder martial brother here is called Cheng Xian. So, are you going to the southern courtyard?" Wang Lin nodded. The Cloud Sky sects for courtyards are very clearly divided. Junior Martial Brother Wang, if you want to enter the southern courtyard, it might be very difficult. If it was easy, then I would go to the western courtyard every day. You should know, beautiful women are as abundant as clouds there. If I could get one or two of them to do duo cultivation with me, then I wouldn't mind cultivation at all. Cheng Xian stopped speaking with a hint of regret, then continued, "So, what are you going to the southern courtyard for? I might be able to help." After Wang Lin heard Cheng Xian's dream, he laughed and said, "That won't be needed. I don't think my trip to the southern courtyard will be stopped." Cheng Xian was stunned. He looked at Wang Lin for a bit. He suddenly slapped his forehead and said, "Your surname is Wang and your name is Wang Lin, I remember now. You're the one who was accepted by Uncle Master Zhu Lin. You are too lucky. Do you know how many people want to become his disciple?" Wang Lin revealed a surprised expression and asked, "Why is that? Is teacher's alchemy skill really high?" Cheng Xian's eyes revealed a look of admiration as he said, "Although his alchemy skill isn't low, it's not exactly high either. He can only refine up to rank 3 pills, which is not a big deal. I can already refine rank 2 pills. I believe that I'll be able to refine rank 3 pills soon." Wang Lin nodded. He walked toward the southern courtyard while listening to Cheng Xian talk. But Cheng Xian stopped talking. He revealed that mischievous look and smiled, "Junior Martial Brother, I can tell you, but you have to promise to take me to the western courtyard once." "How is that?" Wang Lin's expression remained calm and said, "If you don't want to say it, it's fine." When Cheng Xian saw that Wang Lin didn't budge, he quickly said, "Elder Martial Brother Wang, look, I'm even calling you Elder Martial Brother now. All you have to do is say a few words and I can get into the western courtyard. It's only a small task." Wang Lin turned his head and said to him, "You want me to go find that girl, then you can use that excuse to meet that elder Cider Wang Tong of you dreams?" Wang Lin's eyes became serious. Elder Li, disciple of the Luohe sect from the country of Huofen. These two sentences floated in his head as a name suddenly came to mind. Not possible, Wang Lin secretly thought. How could there be such coincidence in this world? Could the girl from back then have become an elder of the Cloud Sky sect? Wang Lin let out a fake smile and thought that he was overthinking it. In a voice filled with regret, Cheng Xian said, "Elder Li is a genius of her generation. Back in the country of Hufen, she was already famous. The country of Hufen was invaded, causing the Luohe sect to collapse and all of the disciples to scatter. If not for that, Elder Li wouldn't have come here." Wang Lin nodded, but didn't speak as he kept walking forward. Cheng Xian blinked a few times and quickly followed Wang Lin. He asked, "Elder Martial Brother, when are we going to the western courtyard?" Wang Lin looked at the sky and said, "After I see the master, I'll take you to the western courtyard. But, like I told you before, I don't know that girl. I don't even know her name. If it doesn't work, then oh well." Cheng Xian was stunned. Then, he looked away and said, "No problem, I know her name. All you have to do is ask to see her. Brother, I believe in my intuition. That girl will definitely come out to see you." Wang Lin didn't say any more as he continued to walk toward the southern courtyard. During the entire trip, Cheng Xian almost never stopped talking. It was clear that he was someone who was good at talking. He shared all of the news, gossip, and rumors about the Cloud Sky sect. The way he talked was almost too lively, so Wang Lin didn't get irritated listening to him. Just like that, the two of them arrived at the southern courtyard. Inside the water were countless 7 color carps, leisurely swimming inside. Cheng Xian stopped before the bridge and smiled. There is another rumor regarding the demon cultivation pill. Does brother want to hear it? I'm all ears. Wang Lin's eyes followed the bridge into the courtyard, however, there was a restriction blocking him from looking in too deep. He could vaguely see the elegant environment inside. It was like the Garden of Eden. Cheng Xian proudly said, the rumor is that Elder Li lived in the Sea of Devils for a while. The name of the pill is related to an event that she experienced there. Of course, this is only a rumor. In fact, there are a lot of rumors about Elder Li in the Cloud Sky sect. We'll have a good talk about them later. After Wang Lin heard this, his expression remained calm. He clasped his hands toward Cheng Xian and walked toward the bridge. Cheng Xian quickly shouted, Brother Wang Lin, I'll wait for you here. Don't forget that we have something to do after this. Wang Lin didn't respond. He walked across the bridge. After entering the southern courtyard, the fog became even thicker. He couldn't see anything more than 3 feet in front of him. If Wang Lin's main body was here, it wouldn't bother him at all. All he would have to do was spread out his divine sense and he would be able to see everything. But, right now, Wang Lin's avatar was only at the 8th layer, so he could only slowly walk forward. The deeper he went, the thicker the fog got. His vision gradually reduced from 3 feet to 1 foot. A voice floated out from the fog, the southern courtyard is a restricted area. If outer disciple doesn't have a token, you may not enter. Wang Lin stopped. He replied, Disciple Wang Lin is here to greet teacher's teacher, Elder Li. The voice pondered for a while, then the fog before Wang Lin opened up as if there was a giant pair of hands spreading it open. A path that lead deep into the southern courtyard appeared. Follow this path and you will arrive at Elder Li's residence. Go now. The voice appeared again and Wang Lin could hear a hint of envy in the voice. Wang Lin followed the path without a word. The sound of an instrument could be heard in the distance. Shortly after, Wang Lin arrived at the end of the path, where a building awaited him. Looking into the window, there was the figure of a woman. Before her was a zither. However, due to a thin layer of curtain, Wang Lin couldn't see what she looked like. The moment Wang Lin appeared, a song came out of the building and entered Wang Lin's heart like a flowing river. Wang Lin didn't say a word, but stood there and listened to the song. After the song was over, an elegant voice came out of the building. You are Wang Lin? The moment the voice entered Wang Lin's ears, he was stunned. His face revealed a look of disbelief, but he quickly recovered. After pondering for a long time, he responded. Yes, I am. In this world, there were few people like Li Muwen, who could make rank 5 pills that would normally require someone to be as high the nascent soul stage to refine. Wang Lin secretly sighed. The so-called time changes a person was like this. 200 years wasn't exactly long, but not short either. She was several times more beautiful than before. 200 years ago felt like just yesterday. However, there was still a big gap between the two, a gap that Wang Lin wouldn't so easily cross. Wang Lin didn't have any plans to reveal himself. His appearance was also different from when he first met Li Muwen, so she wouldn't figure out that it was him from his looks. What is it? Li Muwen's voice was still filled with a hint of sadness. Wang Lin took a deep breath and bitterly smiled in his heart. He said, disciple, facing an old friend. Wang Lin was almost unable to say the word, disciple. When Li Muwen heard Wang Lin's voice again, her body shivered. She waved her hand and a purple veil appeared on her head. She walked out of the building and looked at Wang Lin. Wang Lin's expression was calm. He slowly said, disciple's pill furnace shattered. Li Muwen looked at Wang Lin for a while. She revealed a complicated expression and asked, Are you from the country of Chu? Wang Lin pondered for a bit and nodded. Li Muwen let out a sigh. Her mood returned to normal. She said, the pill furnace shattering must be because your cultivation has increased too quickly and you can't control the spiritual energy in your body well enough to guide the fire. This is very common. All you have to do is keep practicing and it should solve itself. Since you are Zhu Lin's disciple, I'll gift you this pill furnace. This pill furnace will prevent 100 shatters. If after 100 times you still can't control the fire, then that means you have no talent in alchemy and you should give up and go to the outer sect. After Li Muwen finished speaking, she sent out the pill furnace and it floated before Wang Lin. Wang Lin immediately put the pill furnace into his bag of holding. Although his expression was calm, he had very complex emotions floating around in his heart. Every second that he spent here, he felt like he was suffocating. He clasped his hands and turned to leave. Li Muwen suddenly said, "Ma Liang." Wang Lin revealed a startled expression. He turned around and looked at Li Muwen with a confused look. Li Muwen secretly sighed and said, "You can go. If you have any questions, you may come and ask me." After that, she returned to her residence and the sound of a zither started coming out of the building again. This time, there was a hint of melancholy and loneliness in the song. Wang Lin revealed a complicated expression. He directed a thoughtful look at the person inside the building. He secretly sighed and turned around to leave. When he saw Li Muwen, he revealed an unreserved look of love and gently said, "Junior sister, a few months ago, I heard that you needed a long yangshi. I searched the entire country of Chu and finally found one." With that, he took out a jade box. Inside the jade box was a complete purple she that was the size of an arm. Li Muwen's expression was dull. She didn't even look at the jade box and said, "Many thanks for Senior Brother Sun's kindness, but I have already found a replacement and made the pill. Brother Sun should just keep it." The middle-aged man let out a warm smile. He put the jade box to the side and gently said, "Junior sister, the ancestors mean well. After all, you aren't a direct disciple of the Cloud Sky sect. If you wish to obtain better alchemy techniques, then you must choose a direct disciple to form a cultivating couple with. You and I have known each other for a long time. I'm sure junior sister understands how I feel about you." A flash of coldness flashed across Li Muwen's eyes. She stared at the middle-aged man and said, word for word, "Don't ever bring up this matter again." The middle-aged man quietly looked at Li Muwen. After a long time, he calmly said, "Junior sister, if it wasn't for me saving you when the country of Fen Hu was attacked, you would be dead. How have I been to you for these past few years? I want to know why you're so against this." Li Muwen pondered for a while. The figure of a person unconsciously floated into her mind. She stopped that thought and said, "No reason." The middle-aged man sighed. His voice was still gentle. "Junior sister, ancestor has already personally ordered it. Everything is already set, so please consider it again." With that, he gave Li Muwen a deep look, then turned around with a bitter smile and left. Li Muwen quietly stood outside of her house for a while, then turned around to go back in. Her back looked so sad and lonely. The smaller ape looked at Wang Lin, revealing anger in its eyes. It grabbed toward Wang Lin, but Wang Lin dodged the claw and jumped onto its back. The ape didn't seem to mind and quickly chased after the larger ape. The apes were very quick. Riding on them was like sitting on clouds. Cheng Xian seemed to be very used to this. After yelling a few times, he took out a gourd of wine and drank a gulp. He then let out a laugh and said, "Riding a spirit ape to the western courtyard. In the entire Cloud Sky sect, only I can do this. Ha ha." Wang Lin wryly smiled. Although this Cheng Xian was very mischievous, he wasn't annoying. Although he was wasting Wang Lin's time, Wang Lin didn't care too much. In fact, because of Cheng Xian, Wang Lin's dislike of interacting with people lessened a bit. Cheng Xian threw the gourd back to Wang Lin. Wang Lin caught the gourd and looked at it for a while. He thought of Li Muwen's expression and took a big gulp. Shortly after, with the spirit ape speed, the already not far western courtyard appeared before them. The western courtyard was very different from the southern courtyard. The entire western courtyard was floating in the air and was surrounded by clouds. If one did not look carefully, one couldn't even see the building made of white jade inside the clouds. Cranes flew through the clouds and waves of crisp lava emitted from the western courtyard. Within a certain range of the western courtyard, a pleasant fragrance filled the air. Cheng Xian dreamily looked at the western courtyard. He let out a sigh and muttered, "Almost all of the female cultivators are in the western courtyard. Just think about all of the beauties inside. If I could just live in there for 1 year, I'd be satisfied." Wang Lin's eyes slightly lit up. He ignored what Cheng Xian was saying and focused his attention on the restriction placed under the western courtyard. The effect of the restriction was to keep the west courtyard afloat, and it also had some effect that blocked vision from the outside. A group of cranes flew out from the mist. There were 7 or 8 girls sitting on the cranes. Each one of them was as pretty as a flower and had nice curves, especially the girl in front, who was a grade above the rest. She arrived before the 2 on the crane. After looking at them, she shouted, "The western courtyard is a restricted area." After she finished, she gave Cheng Xian a fierce stare and viciously said, "Cheng Xian, why are you here again? If you are here to bug Sister Tong again, don't blame me for being ruthless." Cheng Xian pouted his lips. While rubbing the spirit ape's fur, he said, "Cheng Lin, we came from the same village, why be like this? I even held you when you were a baby. Do you still remember? I still remember that time when I was holding you and you took a piss on me." When Wang Lin heard that, he immediately patted the spirit ape's head. The ape was also smart and quickly took a few steps back. That girl's face quickly turned red, then green. Her face was immediately filled with rage. She slapped her bag of holding, took out 3 flying swords, and shouted, "You're still talking about that? This is not over." The 3 flying swords flew toward Cheng Xian like lightning. Cheng Xian took a few steps to the side and dodged the flying swords. He took out a piece of jade and sent some spiritual power into it. Suddenly, a light screen formed, surrounding the area. He said, "Don't be mad, you were only taking a piss." Brother Xian didn't mind. Even now, if you want to take a piss, before he even finished speaking, the girl's rage had reached its limit. She waved her hand and 3 bells appeared. The bells were emitting a crisp sound. Wang Lin's eyes became serious. This time, the spirit ape backed up even more without his command. Wang Lin also quickly moved his hand and formed a restriction. All of this happened almost instantly. The instant the girl rang the bell, Wang Lin finished the restriction. Meanwhile, the smaller spirit ape did the same, although Wang Lin wasn't thrown off like Cheng Xian, but got off himself. The spirit ape formed by the yellow light wasn't bothered by the incoming ringing sound at all. Its stomach bulged and he spat out a torrent of air. Suddenly, the ringing sound was blown back. The girl's face suddenly became pale and she coughed out a small amount of blood. She fiercely stared at Cheng Xian. All of the girls behind her had anger in their eyes and took out their treasures, ready to attack. As for the ringing sound that went toward Wang Lin, it slightly paused before his body and strangely disappeared without a trace. Although Wang Lin's cultivation was low, his keen instinct and knowledge of restrictions were still there. It was more than enough to stop the attack of a mere core formation junior. The restrictions landed on all of the weak points of the bell sound waves. The ape formed by the yellow light suddenly turned its head and looked at Wang Lin with a strange expression. Then, its body dissipated and turned back into a yellow light, which was absorbed by Cheng Xian. "Don't attack. I'm not here to fight, but to accompany him to look for someone." Cheng Xian's face was bitter. He was thinking that he won't be able to make it into the courtyard. It was all his fault. If he hadn't offended that girl, Cheng Lin, he wouldn't be having his problem right now, looking for who? Could it be elder sister Tong? Cheng Lin took a pill from her bag of holding and swallowed it. Her face returned to normal as she looked at Wang Lin with a loathing stare. Wang Lin's expression remained calm as he looked at the girl. He said, "The person I'm looking for is not elder sister Tong." Cheng Xian quickly said, "The person he is looking for is Lu Yu." The girl named Cheng Lin frowned. She looked at Wang Lin and fiercely asked, "What are you looking for junior sister Lu Yu for?" Wang Lin chuckled and retorted, "What's it to you?" The anger grew in her eyes, but she suppressed it by force. She took out a piece of jade from her bag of holding. After holding it for a bit, she threw it behind her. The piece of jade quickly flew back into the western courtyard. After doing that, the girl's gaze turned to Cheng Xian and she said, "Cheng Xian, if you keep bringing those things up, I'll go home and tell your dad that you're bullying me." After she got closer, she jumped off the crane and said to Wang Lin, "You came looking for me." The girl named Cheng Lin frowned and said, "Junior sister you know his person?" Lu Yu quickly turned around and said, "I know him, senior sister. He joined the sect at the same time as me." Cheng Lin looked at Wang Lin a few times, then used her eyes to warn Cheng Xian before leaving with everyone else, leaving just the 3 of them there. Lu Yu blinked a few times. She completely ignored Cheng Xian and asked Wang Lin, "How do you know my name?" Wang Lin pondered a little and blandly said, "If it isn't inconvenient for you, please take this person into the western courtyard. If he could see elder sister Tong, that would be the best. If that is not possible, then don't bother with it." With that, he left without even turning his head, leaving Lu Yu and Cheng Xian dumbfounded. Both of them stood there for a long time, unable to say a word. Lu Yu stomped her feet and shouted, "Come on! He called me out just for this." Unfortunately, Wang Lin didn't turn around and his figure disappeared into the distance. Cheng Xian secretly sighed, thinking that brother Wang Lin really was a master. With a girl this pretty in front of him, he still wasn't moved at all. Cheng Xian felt like he would never be able to reach that stage in his life. Cheng Xian took a deep breath and said, "Lu Yu, junior sister, elder sister, does elder sister have time? I am very good friends with brother Wang Lin. I took care of him when he joined the sect, so could you help me with what he just said?" Lu Yu glanced at Cheng Xian and disgruntledly said, "You're the older one, HMPH." She fiercely stared at the direction Wang Lin went in. After muttering some stuff to herself, she shook the bell in her hand. A crane suddenly came out and landed next to her. She got on the crane and it flew into the air. Cheng Xian sighed with a bitter face, but just as he was about to leave, Lu Yu's crisp voice came from above. "Follow me on your own. However, only this once and never again." Cheng Xian suddenly became excited. He quickly followed the crane to the western courtyard. After Wang Lin left the western courtyard, he returned to his yard in the northern courtyard. He checked and there was no sign of anyone entering on the restrictions he left. After returning home, he took out the pill furnace Li Muwen gave him and started to practice alchemy again. Time slowly passed. In a flash, several small months had passed. Zhu Lin's closed-door training was still not over. Wang Lin's skill in alchemy had increased a lot, but he felt that he really didn't have much talent for alchemy. It was only after failing 93 times using the pill furnace Li Muwen gave him that he finally succeeded in mastering the control of the fire. As a result, he started to refine pills using the information in the jade left by Zhu Lin. Using the herbs in the garden, Wang Lin started to slowly try refining pills. However, the success rate was too low. In 10 tries, he only succeeded once, and sometimes, not even once. If this continued, then, no matter how many herbs were in the garden, they couldn't withstand this kind of usage. Finally, because one of the herbs ran out, Wang Lin used the spirit liquid after pondering for a while. Surprisingly, the refining was successful. And it was not only one success. As long as the liquid was used in the refining process, then the success rate would increase by an unimaginable degree. It would succeed 9 out of 10 times. After much testing, Wang Lin confirmed that another effect of the spirit liquid was to increase the success rate of pill refining. As a result, with the help of the spirit liquid and the heaven-defying bead, his cultivation climbed at an incredible rate. He had now reached the 15th layer and was getting close to foundation building. According to Cheng Xian, that time, with Lu Yu's help, he was able to meet elder sister Tong and they were getting along really well. Wang Lin's expression darkened. He sent out the voice transmission jade and it flew off into the distance. Wang Lin wasn't in a rush and sat there, waiting for Cheng Xian. Not long after, the roars of a beast could be heard from the distance. Soon, a spirit ape charged into the yard with Cheng Xian on its back. Cheng Xian smiled when he saw Wang Lin and said, "Brother, what were you looking for me for?" Wang Lin looked up and slowly asked, "Do you have the recipe for the foundation building pill?" Cheng Xian was startled and said, "That foundation building pill is a spirit pill, it is not something I can make. I don't have recipes like that." Wang Lin slightly frowned. He secretly sighed and thought that he would have to find Li Muwen again, but, since brother asked, I have to at least try to help. Although I don't have it, my teacher should definitely have it. Give me 3 days. I'll definitely be able to steal it in 3 days. Cheng Xian let out a proud smile, then talked with Wang Lin for a bit. He looked at the sky and said, "Today, elder sister Tong made arrangements with me to meet outside, so I won't have time to talk more. As for the foundation building pill, don't worry about it. I got you covered." He excitedly left on the unwilling spirit ape. In the next 10 days, Wang Lin almost exclusively worked on his alchemy. The foundation building pill was a spirit pill. With Wang Lin's current skill in alchemy, his failure rate was extremely high. But after putting in the spirit liquid, the success rate had increased greatly. However, it still couldn't compare to the Pei Yuan pill. After using the spirit liquid, making Pei Yuan pills would succeed 9 out of 10 times, but with foundation building pills, it was only 5 to 6 out of 10 times. Wang Lin pondered a little. He figured that the spirit liquid was less effective on higher quality pills. But the heaven-defying bead was still incomplete. Wang Lin had tried looking for the missing elements, but these elements were just too hard to find. It has to be said that for the fire element to be filled, it completely absorbed a wild spirit beast to complete it. As a result, filling the remaining earth, wood, and metal elements was simply too hard. At least for now, Wang Lin hadn't found any good methods to do it. Among the elements, only the water element was easy to get and the wood element was not too bad. Although the wood element wasn't complete, 7 leaves had appeared on the heaven-defying bead. The metal and earth elements didn't have any movements at all. Wang Lin had tried many things, but none of them had any effect. Wang Lin already had a great deal of understanding of the liquid from the heaven-defying bead. There was a huge difference in the quality of the spirit liquid before the heaven-defying bead was filled with water element. This video will end here. Thank you for watching.